Hey deserving listeners, let's watch 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days Season 4 with Geoffrey and Varya. As I've said before in previous videos, I have come to learn that Geoffrey has a lot of allegations of domestic violence and other kinds of crimes, really severe behaviors. Now, I don't know the validity or the reliability of those accusations, but usually when you have multiple people making accusations about one people, there's at least some truth to it, if not a lot of truth to it. Obviously, I don't know about Geoffrey. So I don't want to glorify him, but I do want to use the show as a way of maybe deepening our understanding of domestic violence, intimate partner violence. Maybe we'll see the beginning patterns of it. I don't know. So let's watch the show.
My last serious relationship with my ex.
After that?
I mean, I had relationships, but not serious.
А Варя не будет ли вот этим вот несерьезным отношением очередным?
Oh, I'm serious. I came to Russia.
И чё? Как мы можем верить, что это не только на словах? Have you any secrets that you don't say, Varya?
I have a past. I don't talk about my past. I don't.
So I think that this is a common trope for this show where the friends will grill the foreigner about the validity of the relationship. I don't know if the producers put them up to it or whatever, but it's pretty rude to do. If this was just like a meeting, imagine your friend brings their new partner and the partner happens to be from another country. Would the first thing you would think to do would be to grill that person to make sure that they actually do love your friend? And when they say they're serious and they're giving some evidence, I flew all the way here, that should show something that you don't believe them and you keep grilling them. I can't imagine a lot of people would do that. I mean, off the top of my head, I actually have friends who have dated people or married people from other countries. And it never occurred to me to grill. One, because I trust my friend is a good gauge of that sort of thing. And why is that my job to grill my friends' partners about their love for my friend? Now, if they're concerned, then that's fine if they want to throw it out there. But what's he supposed to say? Like, I love her so much that I'm willing to cut off my pinky for her. Like, what would prove to them that he really does care about her? And then they start grilling him about his past. Now, from what we do know that there are allegations of his past criminal behavior. And I think at this point in the season, the producers of the show and the audience didn't know the full extent of all of his behaviors. I think that the show thought that he had just dealt drugs when he was 20 years old or something. And I don't think the show understood that he has a long rap sheet or list, a long allegation sheet of a lot of different women claiming drug dealing, but also violence and just horrific abuse. And that's why eventually they took him off the show, or they didn't allow him on the tell-all. But I'm guessing that the producers put up the friends and said, he has this past and he dealt drugs like 20 years ago. We want to make that a thing, a drama, and so we want you to grill him about his past. Because it seems like kind of a weird thing to ask someone. Like, what about your past? We haven't seen that with other friends when they grill people. And I have to say that's pretty rude as well. I mean, people have a past, and if that was all that was in his past, which I think is what they're trying to get at, this drug dealing in the past, then, I think he is valid in being like, whoa, like, yeah, I have a past. I haven't told her everything. I plan on telling her everything, but I don't want to tell her right now in front of all you people that I just met. Can't we just have a good time? Now, the other understanding of this is that the question has this other meaning, which is, have you told her about the allegations against you from multiple women of horrific violence? Have you told her about, I'm looking at my notes here so this is from screenrant.com. I don't know if this is reliable, so it's the internet, but that his third wife said that he was selling opiate medication and he has a history of using his children to transport the drugs, to get by the authorities. And so a wide variety of criminal behavior, at least allegations, and so there's this other level to this question. again, it wouldn't be the venue in front of all these people to have that discussion. But as far as between Varya and Geoffrey, it is a valid question that Varya probably would like to know those details.
There's no reason I should be interrogated like this.
I mean, I'm here. I'm all the way in Russia. I came to see your friend, and that should be all that matters.
Он говорит, что типа прошлое не имеет значения, значит того, чтобы они были счастливы. Понятное дело, но все равно отношения должны строиться на доверии. Вот нет, ну вот, например, Варя рассказывала Джеффри, что недавно ты вообще плотно очень общалась, тесно тоже с американцем, и у вас были достаточно серьезные отношения.
She said I used to communicate with another American before I met you.
Are these friends just determined to ruin this relationship? Now, I think maybe a lot of us viewers might not be pulling for this relationship for a lot of reasons. But if we just took what these friends knew at the time, which I'm guessing is our friend met a guy from the United States. He's coming over here to visit, and you know they seem to have a good chance of maybe working out, at least in the short term. And so us four friends are going to grill him about whether or not, do you really love her, and what about your past, and she's been dating other American men. Like, what kind of friends are these really? Now, in the end, we might say it was for a good reason, because the way this thing blossoms in terms of the details about his past, but still, I mean, wow.
You told me that I was the only American that you spoke to. You've straight up lied to me.
So I suspect, given what the hypotheses I have about Geoffrey thus far, that he has a lot of relational traumas, a lot of abandonment traumas or abuse traumas or something, that he is spiking in terms of his distress right now. I'm guessing that Varya is too. I don't know that much about Varya. She hasn't really revealed that much about her personality. I feel like I know more about him because he's already had reactivity that has exhibited at least some kind of trauma response. I don't know. It's total speculation. As I always say in these videos, I really have no idea. I'd have to ask Geoffrey to be like, so does this make sense? And commonly when I'm working with clients and I throw stuff out there, at best half of the things land and half of the things don't. And so just take everything I say with that in mind. But right now I'm guessing his distress is starting to skyrocket. And that's one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't really intuit that well. Something that I have come to learn working with people is that people can look calm. He doesn't, he's not throwing anything. He's not flipping out. But there's something about the way people talk. And when I see a track record of trauma reactivity or abandonment reactivity that he has had, then I usually get a good gauge on that, and I'm pretty sure that he's flipping out right now on the inside, and hopefully he can modulate that. Well, what am I looking for? What I'm looking for is him to say, okay, this friend get together is a disaster. So either we change the subject to just fun talk, or I'm just going to be quiet for a while. And I would say, I'm going to talk with Varya later, because right now, while the cameras are here, while these friends are here, I don't know if I want to get into this, but she just dropped a bomb that she has been dating other American men in the past, and she lied to me about that. So not only is it a lie, which is really hurtful and concerning, but also it's a indication that maybe Varya doesn't really like him, doesn't really love him, and is just looking for someone to trick into getting her a green card, which is exactly his worry that he was talking about maybe even just yesterday in a previous episode. So this is worrisome. And we see that Varya doesn't seem to be that apologetic. What am I looking for her? If she genuinely does care about Geoffrey, you would think she would be like, so, honey, I know I've been lying to you. I'm sorry. It was totally wrong of me to lie. I was only doing it because I thought I was going to lose you. Those other guys, we just chatted. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like you and me. If that's true for Varya, I don't know. maybe Varya has a whole history that we don't know about and a whole inner deceptive mindset. She doesn't seem like she's trying to deceive him, but there's no way to know because you'd have to get inside people's head. So I'm really worried about what's happening here. Now, maybe Geoffrey will keep his behaviors at a certain level because the friends are there, and then he'll have a angry episode later on. I don't know. Let's watch.
I've dated other Americans online, but I didn't tell Geoffrey because I think it's not a big deal.
You've been dishonest with me. This plays into the whole fact this plays into the whole fact that you just want to come to America. No, nothing.
Take it easy.
It's as funny?
No.
It's funny?
Not funny. Not.
It's not funny.
Okay, interesting. So I want to point out that when I treated perpetrators of domestic violence who were forced by law because they committed a crime into therapy with me, it was group therapy, and I got to know these guys really well. It was all men. There were other groups for women perpetrators. I was working with the men. I learned that they were pretty complex people, just like everyone else. I also learned that there were two things that I saw in almost all of them, if not all of them. One was that they had tremendous traumas in their past. Violence, abandonment, something in their childhood that we could all agree was awful. And it was rarely mild abuse. It was usually pretty noticeable kinds of behaviors. The second thing that I would see is an attitude of like entitlement to control other people, and also kind of an attitude of, well, if you push me hard, I'm going to come out swinging. An attitude of, if you piss me off, you're going to get it. So don't piss me off. And so they had that attitude. So they had the trauma, and they had the emotional regulation problems, and meaning that they were easily triggered. They might even had full-blown PTSD. A lot of these guys had full-blown PTSD. When you have full-blown PTSD or complex PTSD or other kinds of relational traumas, what happens is that when there's a threat, your whole body goes into distress. It's a fight. It's a massive fight or flight response. It's not just intellectual. Like, oh, Varya has dated other men before me? This relationship might not be real. Maybe I've been tricked this whole time. Darn. No. None of us are really like that, but particularly if you've been relationally traumatized, what it does is it goes straight to your nervous system, and you go into fight or flight, and you're starting to panic, massive anxiety, distress. Your brain blood starts to be pumped to certain parts of your body for fight or flight, and you can't think straight in your brain, and you're confused, you don't know what to do, and you just feel like you need to throttle something. So there's that, which is a very common syndrome that we see in traumatized individuals. That's not their fault. It's a physical thing that happens to people. And then you match that up with a lot of messages, maybe from family, definitely from culture, that you're entitled, when you're upset, you're entitled to hurt other people. You're entitled to scare other people. You're entitled to be aggressive. That when you have a threat, you better come out swinging, or else other people are going to encroach on your boundaries. And so when in doubt, get big, get strong, be demonstrative, and maybe even put hands on. And so those are the things that I would see in a lot of the men. Now, I never treated people like this, but there's another category of person who actually is a psychopath or has antisocial personality disorder, and those people usually had traumas in their past too, but they didn't care about other people. They didn't have empathy for other people, and so putting hands on and hurting other people just didn't really concern them very much, and so they didn't have any problem doing that to other people because they just, in their heart, just didn't seem to care about other human beings. But the guys that I treated, they did have empathy. They did care, but their empathy would be compromised by their trauma reactivity and the belief that they can put hands on when they're upset. It's similar when we've seen other couples like this on the show where there's relational traumas. They don't do hands on, but they will be very verbally abusive. They'll just start screaming at the other person and calling them names, right? Well, why would you do that? Well, you must, on some level, believe that it's okay to do that. You were modeled that behavior. Other people have done that to you. This is your pattern. You don't have any other options of communicating that you're upset in the moment, whatever it is. So we're seeing a glimpse. Now, I don't know, and I know enough about the law and about libel and being sued by someone to know that I can't say anything about Geoffrey and about the validity of the allegations against him. I just don't know. And not only do I say that because I want to not get sued, but I honestly believe that. I've worked with enough people who have been falsely accused to know that sometimes I just will never know. But if he is someone who has exhibited violence to intimate partners, like what is being reported on the internet, then this would be consistent behavior with that. When you saw him get that distress, it was very quick, and you could kind of sense it, or at least I could. And then there's the humiliation of the friends who are all kind of looking at him, and that would feel awful, to be grilled and kind of beat down, which could be reminiscent of the abuse he went through. He could have been bullied as a kid. He could have been bullied by his family or bullied by his parents or something. Kind of, but anyone in that position would have been distressed by the energy. I mean, just the negative energy that he was getting from those friends. It was pretty awful. And then to have that disclosure, Varya didn't seem to really care or apologize or anything. It's no big deal. And so it's going to be distressing. But instead of crying, like Darcy, she would cry or something. Or Lisa would, she would get big, but she would wander off. She'd be like, screw you, F you, I'm out of here, and she'd walk out. But what we're seeing from him is a different kind of response, which is to get big, stand up, and maybe even have an impulse or at least come across to this fella, whoa, is he going to start swinging at someone? I got to stand up too. So hopefully this doesn't get violent. Does it get violent?
You've been dishonest with me. This plays into the whole fact this plays into the whole fact that you just want to come to America. No, nothing.
Take it easy.
It's just funny?
No.
It's funny?
Not funny.
It's not funny.
Спокойно.
This is ridiculous.
Man.
You lied to me. I'm done. This is bull.
Okay, we've seen a lot of people do that, so I'm not going to say, oh, well, look at that, because I'm guessing people on the internet will do, oh, he's such an abuser. He absolutely did all those things. We've seen this exact behavior from multiple people on the show. Lisa would stand up and walk out. Stephanie would stand up and walk out. Who else would stand up and walk out? Lots of people would stand up, get upset, and stand up and walk out. And the fact that he's kind of a muscly guy scares us a little bit more. Having said that, there definitely was an energy there that wouldn't be not in line with the allegations that we've heard on the internet, which I have no idea if they're true or not.
I'm ready to get the out of Russia, man. This is bull. Her whole thought process is only to get a green card, right?
So I know enough about the internet reactivity to this couple to know that at least many people, some people, hate Geoffrey and they don't empathize with him at all. So when I treated domestic violence perpetrators, I didn't have empathy for them at first either. I had the very common response to them of just like, oh, these guys are dirt bags. I can't believe they did what they did, and they got caught. And imagine all the other things that they've done in their life that just make them dirt bags. These guys, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And then I got to know them and I found, oh, they're human beings like anyone else. And I had tremendous compassion for them. I saw them cry in group therapy. I saw them deal with their traumas. I saw them apologize for their behavior. I saw them desperately try to have attachments. So the fact that you have someone who does, and I had guys that did worse things than I've seen on the internet about what Geoffrey has done. So both can be true. You can do those horrific, abusive things, and you can be a human being that at least I can have compassion for because I'm a therapist and these sorts of people come to me sometimes. So as a profession for me, I can't say your behavior is bad, I'm not going to treat you. Well, what good does that do? These are the people we need to treat the most, particularly when they get the courage enough to reach out to us for help. So in this moment, if I was to forget the allegations against him, his reaction makes total sense emotionally. He was a little worried. There's a little seed of doubt in his mind of, wait, am I being tricked? Is she lying to me? She's saying all these things to me, but is she lying to me? Is she trying to get her green card? He comes to Russia, he sees her apartment, and she hasn't been renovating it for a while, and he starts to wonder, wait, does this mean that has she been planning this all along? Because in his mind, he's like, well, she was going to stay in Russia her whole life, but we fell in love, and so then she's going to come to the United States. But this new narrative is like, well, maybe she was planning on coming to the United States all along, and I'm just a convenient person. Now, as I always say, you can have both. You can both be desperate to move to another country because you want to, and you need to meet someone in that country in order to get a green card to go there, and you might legitimately love that person. So, both can be true. But then, so he, the seed of doubt building, and then he talks to his friends, and they're just like, did you know that she's been dating multiple American men? And she had explicitly said, no, you're the first American man that I've dated. That's going to be a massive blow. That is going to hurt tremendously. Again, as I said before, lying in and of itself really hurts people. And two, about that. Because Varya could have said, by the way, I just want to let you know, I've been online with a lot of people all over the world, including some American men, because, I was just seeing. But then when I met you, we're the only ones that really worked out, and we're the only ones that you're the only one I've really fallen in love with. So I just want to tell you that. It'd be similar to if you met someone in your own town, and they said, by the way, I just want to let you know, you're not my first Tinder date. But you and I seem to have something going on. So just want to let you know that. So the fact that she didn't say that would be rational to conclude, wait, she's tricked me about that, and specifically about that, then does that mean that I'm being tricked? And does that mean she doesn't really love me? And in this moment, she's not being very apologetic. She's acting like it's no big deal. Like, what? That's a big deal to be lied to about that. So I will say that if we just put aside the allegations, his emotional reaction makes a lot of sense to me. I think he has every right to feel that way. He doesn't have a right to intimidate. He doesn't have a right to stand up and look like he's going to hit someone, but he does have a right to feel hurt.
I'm just the person that's going to get her there, right? Right now, I think I'm failing myself in this whole situation. I'm failing myself.
So what I see, possibly, just not allegation, but speculation, is that he is highly distressed right now, which would point to traumas around something along these lines: abandonment, abuse, humiliation, something along those lines. And you can see by his agitation and the tears and the way he's talking, you just get the sense like he's real tight in his lungs, and so it points to a traumatic reactivity. Because we've seen other people on the show have similar kinds of revelations, like, wait, is she lying to me? Is he lying to me? And it'll be sad for them, but their physicality won't be thrown off, and it looks like his whole physicality is thrown off.
I thought I was bigger than that. I thought I knew better. I thought I was smarter than that. Right now, I think I'm failing myself in this whole situation. I'm failing myself. I should have been smarter than this.
I don't know. We haven't seen evidence of this prior, but there is a schema of self-punitiveness, self-flagellation, that he just had a little bit of a red flag there. When you're abused, when you're beaten, and some of you out there might be able to relate to this, when you're abused by your parents or other people, you have a choice you have to make. You have to make a decision. Why am I being abused? why are these other people not being abused? I seem to have friends who are not being abused by their parents, or even siblings who aren't being abused. Why am I being abused? Well, one of the conclusions that some kids will come up with is, it's me. I deserve to be punished. That must be why I'm being punished. There must be something different about me. I must be a bad person on the inside. I must really deserve it. Because otherwise, why is this happening all the time? Because it seems to come out of nowhere. I don't see any evidence as to why I'm being abused. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. There must be something wrong about me, and I deserve it. And this is a tragedy of abuse, is that you basically internalize the abuser into your own mind. And over time, even after you grow up and move out of the house, you still abuse yourself in your mind. And when things go wrong, you'll hurt yourself. You might even cut, or you'll tell yourself, oh, you're such an idiot, you're so stupid. And right now, he just exhibited that a little bit. It's like, you know, I blame myself. And so it's another indication, total speculation, of possible abuse to him, that he had to resort to that defense. Before I forget, if you could subscribe to this video, that would be cool, or our channel. If you could hit the bell to get notified so you always know when we post new episodes. If you could like this video, that would be cool. If you could comment below, let me know what you think. I know a lot of people hate Geoffrey, and that's fine. You're free to do that. But am I making any sense? I don't know. Also, become a patron on patreon.com, and also you can subscribe to the podcast. Some of you only know me through the YouTube channel, but I've been doing a podcast for 12 years, and it's audio only, and you get it on your phone, and you can listen on your earbuds. So if you open up a podcast app, you can subscribe to Psychology in Seattle there, and we have over 1,000 episodes. All right, let's get back to the show.
I feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting time that I could be with my family.
Geoffrey, calm down.
Calm down.
I think we both need to calm down and to speak like we used to do it before.
Okay, so it's a okay opener. Like, okay, are you calm? Because I don't want to talk to you if you're not calm. Okay, I know. I wish you would say like something like, so I'm really sorry that I lied to you. I hope that comes out soon, because I think he deserves that.
Are you talking to another American right now?
Yes, but as a friend.
How did you meet him?
On that side?
Oh, so you... Okay.
Before you, but...
Yeah?
It doesn't work. He's not that man I need.
Why would you still talk to him?
He has my Instagram, that's all. And nothing bad happens. You can read all the messages.
All he has is your Instagram?
Yep.
Okay, so she is laying it on the line. I wish she would apologize for lying, because that would be customary. I also, if she wants to make this work, and I just want to say, personally, I'm not pulling for this couple. So I'm just using this as a jumping off point to talk about better communication so that people can learn, better communication. When I say like what she could do to make this better, I'm not like saying that this couple should be together. I want to be clear. The situations behind this couple is so particular, given the allegations against Geoffrey. I feel like I have to say that. So for Varya, if she would like to optimize this, she could also apologize. She could also say, by the way, I love you, and this sort of thing, some kind of gesture of, yes, I did communicate with other American men, but you're different because I actually care about you. Now, maybe Varya doesn't love him. I don't know. Let's watch.
It's funny because I saw somebody that wrote English pop up on your WhatsApp.
He has my,
This is a joke. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if she's in a relationship with this guy. Is she playing this guy? Is she playing me? The fact that she keeps avoiding the truth makes me think this relationship is just a lie. Have you visited? Have you seen each other?
We met in Azerbaijan, but it doesn't work. I just don't like the person.
Okay. So in a similar way that if you met in the same town and she had dated other people in the past, she's dated other Americans, maybe other Russians. So I wish she would give more details. It's like, da-da-da-da. And I wish she would apologize for lying. That's the main issue here, because when you lie, then people wonder, well, what else are you lying to me about? Because you've proven that you lied to me. So are you lying to me now? That's the destructive power of lies. This is the destructive power of affairs and infidelity. Is, yes, the event hurts, but it throws everything into question. And I've worked with so many people on this, is that it just throws wait, so you were lying to me then, and then, all that time? And when else were you lying to me? And of course, the only person who can confirm whether or not they lied to you is the liar, is the person who lied to you. So then you're like, wait, was everything a lie? And to have your world just completely upended like that, it's very disorienting. And so for him, I'm guessing that's what he's going through. Again, if he has done what the allegations say, he has a very troubled past that society could judge him for.
This is a game, man. I am your free ride to America. That's it.
You're crazy about this idea.
I'm crazy about it. I'm not gonna be played.
I'm trying to explain you everything, but you don't want to listen to me.
All right.
So she has a legitimate gripe there in that she's saying, look, I told you, yes, there were other men, but I didn't like them. It didn't work out. I like you. And it doesn't seem like you're listening to me. It seems like you're still convinced that I'm not being, telling the truth. Again, kind of makes sense given that you've already lied. So there's that. So I suspect, because I've worked with a lot of people like Geoffrey, or people who exhibit Geoffrey's behavior. I don't know if I have a good beat on his personality, of course, because how would I know? But I would suspect that there's a part of him right now that he's not expressing, that he really does want her to reassure him. So he has two parts of himself right now. One part that's like, oh God, I hope she reassures me because I really want this to work out, and I want her to tell me that she loves me. And that's what's keeping him close. But then, to her, he's not running away, because he could get on a plane and go home. But so there's that part of him that has hope, but there's another part of him that's just like, it's happening again. You've seen this before. It's happening. And one of the things that I would see in the perpetrators that I would treat is that, interestingly, when you actually talk about them, when they would tell me their narrative of their relationships, because from the outside looking in, it was like you had these guys that were physically abusive to their wives and would control them and wouldn't let them out of the house, or wouldn't let them call their parents or their friends, or wouldn't let them get a job, or would control their mind, a lot of high control. So from the outside, it's just like, wow, this man has a lot of agency and a lot of power and a lot of security or something, to really overpower someone. It seems like you'd have to have, I don't know, just a grip on life or something. But then when I would talk to them, I found out that their narratives about their lives did not match up with what I thought it would be. Their narratives were often that of a victim. They would often feel like they were the ones who were being victimized. And they only resorted to violence because of the emotional victimization that they were going to. Now, I will say that some of the perpetrators, we might actually look at and say, like, yeah, there was some emotional victimization going in the direction toward the perpetrator. But a lot of the guys, it was their interpretation of the situation based on their traumas growing up. And to them, it felt very much like they were being victimized, very much like they were the ones who was being hurt. And yeah, sure, every once in a while, things would get violent and I would lose control. But you don't what they'd say is, you don't understand the way that she treated me. She treated me so horribly. And I wonder if that's the other part that he's exhibiting right now. So one part is, God, I hope she can reassure me because I want this to work. And another part is like, I'm the victim here. I can't believe that yet again it's happening all over again. you know, and this part probably is like, don't give in, don't let your wall down because you're going to get hurt like all those other times going back to when you were a child. Again, total speculation. I don't know. Let's watch some more.
Honestly, I just need some time to think. I just need to...
Where do you go?
I'll find somewhere to go.
Now, I will say that it is weird that I don't think, she hasn't apologized yet. She lied to him, at the very least. I mean, she can have her complaints, like, you're taking things way too hard and you're not listening to me. I think that's a legitimate complaint from her and a request for him to listen more. But at no point did she apologize. Now, I also understand that these shows edit things and they leave stuff out. So maybe they edited that part out. I don't know.
He thinks that everything is not real. It hurts me. I don't look for an American, for moving to America. I'm just looking for a soulmate. He really needs to trust me.
So, okay, if we take her word for it, she was looking for a soulmate, and it just happens to be an American guy, that she would have just as easily found a soulmate from another country or her own country. I don't know. But, of course, we can't get inside her head, and maybe you all have seen the whole season, and so you understand maybe more than I do about this question. Maybe that question has been answered, but I don't know. I'm guessing we're going to see more of them interacting in the future.
I feel like a fool right now. I feel stupid. I put so much into this relationship. At what point does my heart just say, I give up?
So we hear two things. One is that humiliation schema. He seems like I could see, total speculation, a situation where he has a schema of humiliation or trauma around humiliation, and that 5 people grilling him, you know, really got him activated in that situation, because he talks about being played like a fool. I feel like a fool right now. I'm an idiot. I blame myself, these kinds of voices towards himself. Now, from the outside, you'd say, like, well, how would you know? I mean, you hope that people are truthful with you, and if they lie to you effectively, then it's not your fault that someone's a good liar to you. Now, we don't know if she was lying about being in love with him or liking him, but anyway. So we see that humiliation trauma potential. We also see, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's that distress in his voice. You just imagine that his body's real tight and fight or flight as he's talking about that. Let's watch that again.
I feel like a fool right now. I feel stupid. I put so much into this relationship. At what point does my heart just say, I give up?
Right. So he's leading forward. You know, he just seems like he's having a physical reaction to that, which he's entitled to. He's not entitled to be intimidating or to get violent with other people. That's the part of it that crosses the line, of course. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be angry. It's what we do with it.
I just need some time alone. But I really don't know if we can move past this.
All right, well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle. Thanks for joining me. Please take care of yourself and take care of others. And also, as I always say, if you're suffering from domestic violence or intimate partner violence, you can go online to thehotline.org. That's thehotline.org, and you can get resources that can be helpful to you. And take care of yourself, because you deserve it. You really, really do.